Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well and had a great holiday break. I am down in my basement right now because my in-laws are over my house and they're baking upstairs and doing a bunch of different stuff, so it's kind of noisy, so I decided to come down here to get some peace and quiet for you guys. If you turned in your first draft, you should have it back. If you do not have it back with feedback and a grade, then please let me know because as far as I know, they are completed. You have two really important areas of feedback for you to pay attention to. And if you can't see either of these, please let me know so I can help fix it for you. You have feedback on your actual paper. So whether I emailed your paper to you or you have it on Blackboard, most of you submitted your paper on Blackboard, it's on Blackboard attached to your grade. You can open up your paper and you can see comments in the margins and edits on the actual paper using the track changes in Word. If you cannot see these, please let me know because this is a major area of feedback where I provided you with live comments and edits to your paper. You also have rubric feedback. So attached to your grade is also the rubric with some of my notes in each one of the rubric areas. Please make sure you can see that as well. Some of you also have feedback in the main comment area on Blackboard, so please see that as well. Two areas of feedback, make sure you can see those. Okay, this is probably a good transition then into how do I grade the final draft. You have 3 weeks, about 3 weeks to complete the final draft. I expect you guys to take the feedback from your first draft that I provided and develop your draft for your final draft. As I talked about in the beginning of the semester, writing is a process. We continually learn. Only way we get better at writing, almost like anything else, is to practice and develop and push yourself. So I really encourage you guys to do that. Do those little things where you're looking up those little formatting things. You're reading your paper aloud. That's maybe the best thing that almost anyone can do. Read your paper aloud to yourself. Very hard to do. It takes a lot of discipline to do, but if you do it a couple of times, I promise you, you will be catching awkward sentences. You will be catching different things. That was one of my pieces of feedback for a lot of you, as you will see, is to read your paper aloud to yourself. It makes a big difference, trust me. But be doing all those things to help develop your paper. How do I grade the final draft? I literally pull up your first draft, I look at your final draft, and I look how you developed and changed it. Okay? So obviously, I put in quite a bit of time to giving you feedback on your drafts and on different things. So I expect you to develop it. You are not guaranteed the same grade on your second draft as you got on your first draft. So let me give you an example. If you received an 80 or a 75 on your first draft, so maybe a C, maybe a low B, and you think, well, that's okay, that's not bad. If you do not do anything with your paper, if you do not develop your paper at all, if you just turn in the same draft to me, I will likely fail you for your second draft. Because the point of the second draft is not just to resubmit a paper, it's to develop it. So please make sure you are doing that. Now, having said that, some of you don't have a whole lot to change, right? So if you got a 90, a 93, 94 or above, you probably don't have a whole lot to change. Some of you got 95 or above, you probably even have less to change. I'm not saying that if you did really, really, really well in your first draft and you worked really hard that you would need to do something spectacular for your second draft. That's not the case. You guys put in the time, you worked hard on your first draft. You don't have to do that much for your second draft. But for people who have more development to do, there may be more work to put in, and that's how I will be grading you. I'll be using the same rubric and everything, but I want to see the development. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to field any questions, to communicate with you. I'm happy to talk on the phone with you if you have some more extensive questions or just want to talk about it. I've done that with a handful of you already this semester. You guys have been very communicative and awesome. So please don't be afraid to reach out for help. And I put that on a lot of the feedback comments for you guys. But that is how I grade the final draft. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are in Module 8 right now, which is the partner critique. On November 30th, your partner critique is due, okay? Your partner critique is due on November 30th. You should have switched papers with your partner by now, and you owe them that critique by the 30th, where you'll be CCing who? Chris Hammond. That's right. You'll be CCing Chris to turn that in. Chris will be helping me out with grading the partner critiques. The partner critique's pretty straightforward. You put in effort, you make comments on the paper, make edits on the paper like I did with track changes in Word. You fill out the rubric like I did, pretty much how I graded your paper, and you turn it back to them, and you should get full credit. So it's more about, did you put in thought, did you put in effort, did you do what was asked of you? There's a document in the module to help explain that further. Please know that if you received a paper from your partner that requires extensive work, you do not have to edit their paper for them. In fact, I do not want you to do that. I do not want you to make all the changes for them and do all that sort of thing. Which I need to say something very important about that too. When I was editing your papers, I don't fix everything, right? So if you were struggling with citations, I may have fixed a couple for you, said that you need to look this up and you need to correct it, but then I don't fix any more. So I expect you to go through your paper and for you to correct everything. That's how we learn, right? Obviously, if I just did it all for you, then you would just have to accept all the changes and you wouldn't get anything out of that. So make sure that all the little things that I say in your paper that you are applying to the rest of your paper, right? So if you overuse the word which, then if I commented on that, then make sure you go through your paper and you take out the word which numerous times, okay? You do the same for your partners. I don't expect you guys to edit everything for them. Just edit it a couple times, maybe make a comment or two, and then move on, okay? Also, I want you to take into account the feedback from your partner, right? So if your partner has some feedback and whatever, I want you to take that into account. And that's a really good exercise, but obviously, if there's a lot of conflicting stuff with the feedback I gave you, reach out to me so I can referee it for you, or you can just go with my feedback. But really good exercise, the partner critique, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Okay. And then after that, I think your final draft is due on the 10th, December 10th. So, only 2 assignments left, guys. We're almost there. I know this was a little bit longer video, but lots of important stuff. Please email me with any thoughts or questions. And I'll definitely put out another video before the end of the semester. And you'll see another Mornings in Martin Allen too, I think. See ya.